Hey, this is Patrick Anderson. We're going to take a look now at a song called Show Us Christ. This is the perfect song to sing right before a message. And it's just this heartfelt cry, this prayer, show us Christ, that we would see Christ more clearly through the preaching of the word. So it's a great song for that. If we took the intro, starting the song, it's in 4/4. There is no intro added here on the chart, but you would do something around a G chord, and I'll show you how to do that. You'll notice that I do have a capo on here. This song was recorded in the key of B flat, and so I have capo 3 playing with as if it's in the key of G, and that gives me the key of B flat. You could easily move it down a half step on the 2nd fret, and that would give you the key of A. But I'm capoing up here, playing G shapes, key of G, 3rd fret, B flat. So with this intro, I would take something like, we probably would want to do is do some finger picking. This song is so sensitive, and there's such a great example of that on the recording. To translate that to the guitar, I think we should probably try some finger picking, which is really worth developing on the acoustic guitar. It just sounds so beautiful. So with this intro, I would do something like this. And let me play you the example, and then we'll pick it apart. Something like that. It gives you some nice melody in there, a good little intro. Let's start with the picking pattern that I'm doing here. Not very complicated, but just has a great sound. I'm playing with basically alternating between these two fingers, my middle finger and ring finger, and my index finger, just like that. At the beginning of every measure, or when I change chords later on in the song, I'll add the thumb like this. So I play with these together at first on the downbeat, nice and slow. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and great. So nice and simple, and just being able to finger pick on the acoustic guitar just has such a beautiful sound. I think it really lends itself to this song and the feel for it. So what you can do to make that more interesting, you could do just that, and it would work, and it would sound probably pretty good. But what I was doing with my chord changes were this: a stock G chord, and I'm not using my first finger down here. I lift that up because I want to use it on this 2nd string to just give me a different kind of melody. So I'm starting with a stock G, then I'm moving to this G sus chord, where I lift up this ring finger, put my first finger down on the 1st fret, 1st fret, 1st capo fret, 2nd string. So I get that sound. Then I go back up to the G, and then I open that string up, so I lift up my 3rd finger and play that open 3rd there. So to give you an example of how it would all go together nice and slow, would be like this. One more time. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and just like that. So with the first verse, I would keep much that same picking feel. And you might notice, as I did a little bit in the intro there, that I kind of leave open the ends of the phrases. You could keep picking straight through it and keep the rhythm, and that would be great. It would be fine. But as just an extra musical thing, you could sort of open it up at the end of the phrases and stop playing a little bit. Just let the guitar sound sustained, which is really beautiful. And you pick that up from the example that I give you. So with the chorus here, you have the G, G sus, E minor. When you're finger picking these chords, it's important to move your thumb around so you play the bass note of the chord you're working on. It just really gives you the sound of the chord. You'll notice that help us 2, you have an E minor and D that share a measure, so you'll just be switching a little bit more quickly. This finger picking pattern works so well, it's not hard to do at all, and you'll just pick it up from the example. You do have a G/B, and if you don't know what that is, you could just play a G chord, but what they're asking for is basically a chord with a note, a specific note in the bass. It's asking for the letter on the left-hand side is the chord, letter on the right-hand side is the note in the bass, and it looks like this. Just gives you a really beautiful bass line down to an A minor or up to a C. and you'll see how that works. So let's play through the verse. I'll give you a little bit of the intro. 2, 3, 4. Verse 1. Prepare our hearts, Jesus, O God. E minor, 1, 2, D, 4, C, 2, 3, 4. Break the hard and stony ground. Here's that G over B, nice bass line. Help us to, or help our unbelief. I'm gonna leave it open here. Plant your word down deep in us. E minor, 2, 3, 4, C, 2 over fruit. Open up our ears to hear. Lead us in your truth. D sus pours into the chorus. Show us Christ. Just like that. It's a simple picking pattern will work really effectively for you. Just give kind of the tender, mood to this rather than strumming through that first part. So now if we take the chorus, here I like to play more consistently with the kind of the eighth note feel, 1 and 2 and 3. Without the breaks so much. It's the best way I've found to kind of mimic that just sort of pulsing sort of, quarter note piano thing. That works so well. So here, that G over B is, again, not essential. You could play just a G, it's over show us Christ, that G/B. But it just works so nicely as this bass line that goes show us Christ to the A minor, to the G over B, to the C. It's a really beautiful sound, and you can really pull that out very well when you're finger picking. So let's play through the chorus. I'll back up to lead us in your truth so you can see how those two connect. Lead us in your truth. Show us Christ. 3, 4, A minor, 2. Show us Christ. G over B to C, 2, 3. Oh God, reveal your glory through the preaching of your word, of your word, until 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, Christ is Lord. Back to the intro, or whatever intro you want to do there. That just pours right into the second verse. So the second verse is much like that first verse, nothing really different there. You'd probably pick through it. You might pick a little bit more constantly, maybe not with the same openness that I used in the first verse, but again, that's all just stylistic stuff. If you're just comfortable with picking through, that will be great and it'll be beautiful. The bridge, here is where I would probably do a little bit of strumming. It starts to build there, and I love this line, where else can we go, Lord? Where else can we go? You have the words of eternal life. The strumming feel that I would probably use there would be this. 1, 2, 3, 4. That one. Which is just without the chord, nice and slow, down, up, 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 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. It has some nice kind of offbeats that go over the beat, especially over beat 2, but you really lock in on beat 1 and 4, and that just kind of gives a nice sort of moving forward feel to this bridge. Stylistically, I wouldn't dig in right away, but start to build over the course of the bridge as you repeat it twice. So let's take a look at the bridge. And again, these G over B's, G/B's are, again, not crucial, but they're really nice with the sound because you get that bass line, where else can we go? Where else can we go? You have the words of eternal life. Let's play the bridge. So we're coming from the end of the chorus, Christ is Lord. Actually, this brings up a nice little, probably practical thing you wouldn't tend to think of. You need your pick somewhere to be able to grab it, or you strum with your fingers if you're comfortable doing that. Kind of go down with my fingers, up with the thumb, or you have to have some sort of strategy to grab your pick. So I'll show you what I might do if I were sitting down while I was doing this. Christ is Lord. Where else can we go, Lord? Where else can we go? You have the words of eternal life. A little bit more. Where else can we go, Lord? Where else can we go? You have the words of eternal life. Where else can we? Laying in a little bit more every time you repeat that. Eternal life. Where else can we go? Where else can we go? Start to maybe back off as you're heading into that last chorus of eternal life. Maybe an extra C there for some space. Show us Christ. Into that last chorus, which is the same as we've played it before. Okay, so if we were playing that with a band, I would do this a little differently. Again, it's a really sensitive song. You could do it acoustically like that, and it would be beautiful, really, really beautiful. But with a band, I would imagine if you had a keyboard player, the arrangement is so beautiful and so simple on the recording that they could pick that up. So let's say that you have a piano player starting it off. I absolutely would not play for the first verse. And in fact, what I tend to do in band situations at our church, and what I've done before, is that no one really plays until the bridge. And there the band starts to actually get in and build every 3 lines into the repeats. And so that's where I would actually start to play in some circumstances. If you wanted to come in before that, if it was appropriate to your arrangement, I would do things like this, these categories, and you can use them as you see useful. I wouldn't play the first verse. That's just nice and open. You don't need many instruments at all. You just want to kind of leave the song open as we're singing that first verse. So I might do something like this. Lead us in your truth. This is the piano player playing. Show us Christ. Just nice down strums. 4. Something like that. Show us Christ. Nice relaxed strum that doesn't push or rush the rhythm. Oh God. Now if you want to do some picking, you can. If that's too hard, this down strum will be beautiful. Something like that. I probably wouldn't add too much to that second verse. Word is some light down strums, not too heavy, not too quick, and maybe some, little picking if you're comfortable with that, with the pick. But really, I would save it for the bridge, where I would come in a little bit less than if we were doing it just acoustically like this. And actually, the first time through the bridge, I would probably sit out. Where else can we go, Lord? Where else can we go? You have the words of eternal life. The second time, the bottom 3 lines. Where else can we go, Lord? And then you just build it from there. You're out at the very end of the second repeat of the bridge, the words of eternal life. And you just let it go, and you probably let the piano player take it from there. So that's what I would do for a band setting. That's what I would do for just an acoustic setting. Both really effective for this, for a song like this. So that is Show Us Christ. I hope that's helpful to you. I'm Patrick Anderson, and I'll see you next time.